Now by political analyst Caleb Maupin to discuss further the talks around the Iranian nuclear deal, who joins us live now. Thank you very much for joining us. Good to see you there. So we're hearing then, the deadline has now passed, but the head of the French Foreign Ministry is reportedly going to leave Lausanne on Wednesday morning. What do you think, if anything, we can read into that?
Well, it's important to put this in context. There's a real united effort by the military contractors and corporations in the United States, the Wall Street oil companies, as well as the Israeli government and its network of supporters around the world to try and prevent any deal from being reached. But the core of humanity is against them. People here in the United States, young people struggling to make it in this low-wage economy, the people of Iran who just kind of want to peacefully develop their country and really have no desire for conflict with anyone, people around the world who want peace and cooperation between nations, they all hope and desire for this deal to go through. And so the question is, will the will of the people around the world for peace and cooperation continue, or will the will of Wall Street and the forces of profits and evil prevail, and will a deal be prevented?
Well, what do you think is likely to happen? Do you think it's really possible that the interests here of allies of America, such as Saudi Arabia and Israel, could outweigh what you say is the will of the rest of the world?
Well, the whole world wants this deal to go through. And let's be clear, when you talk about, the U.S. allies in the Middle East, Israel shocked the world with its viciousness and its crimes against the people of Palestine recently. And right now, as we speak, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, an absolute autocratic monarchy that violates human rights left and right, at this very moment, it is bombing and attacking and killing people in Yemen. Yet Iran has never attacked anyone. Iran only wants to peacefully develop and fit into the world and do so in its own path. The Islamic Republic is a society that was born out of a very, very popular revolution in which the Iranian people rose up, overthrew the brutal U.S.-backed dictator, and began to develop independently. They have rejected Western neoliberal capitalism, and they've developed an economic model in which religious principles and morality is given priority over profits and finance. And that system that they have developed, of an independent model for development, is a threat to the power of Wall Street and the forces of the bankers in London and in Wall Street who run the world. They are threatened by that development, because if one country can break free, other countries can break free. And so the attempt to suppress Iran is really about asserting the power of Wall Street and London over the world, and kind of threatening the ability of countries around the world to work in their own interests and not be financially enslaved by the West.
Are those that are opposed to this deal? We've spoken about I suppose, the local issues involving Saudi Arabia, the regional issues, I should say, and Israel as well. What about those members in Congress, the Republicans? Are they in a position to really scupper this deal, do you think?
Well, the efforts, the united effort from the extreme right wing in the United States, from the Likud party in Israel to all these elements doing everything they can to suppress this deal, really shows how, if a deal is reached, what a victory that will be. If the people of the world are able to prevail and their will for peace and further cooperation between countries is able to prevail, that will be such a huge victory, because everything is being done to try and prevent negotiations between the U.S. and Iran from succeeding. Everything is being done to try and prevent a deal from taking place. Iran has not attacked any country. Iran is not being aggressive. Iran has very much been willing to cooperate. It has fully complied with the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. It is Israel, it is the United States, it's the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, it's the countries aligned with the United States around the world that are being aggressive and hostile and stirring up sectarian fighting throughout the region. And the notion of an Iranian threat is just fiction. It's a fiction manufactured by Western media that really needs to be exposed and refuted. And the entire way the terms of this debate are being presented in Western media is highly deceptive.
Okay, our political analyst Caleb Maupin, thank you very much for your time here on RT International. Well, on air.